السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه تركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made the marriage lawful for us, and He was the marriage legislated for us. So one of us can stay away from committing or being involved in any matter that would ruin his life and ruin his deen. And the concept of marriage is great in Islam. And it's not based only on fulfilling the desire, but to give everyone involved in the marriage its due right. And we are commanded as men to have a qiwam, to be responsible physically and financially, and to honor them as we are commanded وَعَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, and live with them honorably. And if you dislike anything from the behavior or character or the trait of a woman, that should not make one of us hate or ignore the other side. As the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the hadith, لا يفرق مؤمن من مؤمنة إن رضي منها إن سخط منها خلقا رضي منها آخر. A believing man should not dislike a believing woman. If you are not pleased with one of her traits or character, you might be pleased with the other things from her. And all that to teach us how to practice our patience and tolerance when we are married. And do not rush to do anything wrong that might ruin this marriage and to bring it to an end. However, the end of this is legislated and permissible, but it should not be done the way we do it nowadays. We should not forget the right that we have and the right they have upon us when the divorce happens. Before the divorce or taking that decision, we should go through many things, many steps to call for peace, to bring them together, to maintain the relationship between the man and the wife. Even by giving up some of the rights for the woman or some of the right by the men to make this marriage stand and continue. And this is when we hear وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ. The peace, the reconciliation is better. وَأُحْضِرَتِ الْأَنفُسُ الشُّحْ. That this our soul is swayed on greediness. So we know the problem always is related to the ego. That we don't like to give up anything, and we need to make sure when we end this marriage, we have the right and we have the upper hand, and we are going to ruin the life for each other. The trend nowadays that is going in the community, unfortunately, what's called فَتَذَرُوهَا كَالْمُعَلَّقَةِ, to leave the woman hanging up, not being divorced and not being married. And I don't know from where we brought this concept. And unfortunately, if you are not involved in this kind of problem, you might have someone, friend, who actually asks for your advice and all what we do to feel that we are men and we need to prove that we are men in this kind of situation. Yes, you have the right to punish her. You have the right to torture her. She doesn't have the right to have your kindness. You can do and that and do it, all that. And the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, مَنْ كَانَ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day should say something good or stay quiet. This is the command from the Prophet ﷺ. And the great command from Allah Azza wa Jal, when He said, وَإِن تَعْفُوا أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. That if you remit, it's going to be nearer to taqwa. That means you have taqwa. It's nearer to righteousness. وَلَا تَنْسَوُا الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ. This is a direct command to the spouses. Do not forget the liberty between both of you. You used to enjoy each other. you used to live together, you have kids from each other. And that should not make one of you, when you decide to divorce, to go harsh or to ruin another's life by taking them to the court, or stop maintaining them, or you leave the place forever and not showing up anymore. And we pretend then what? Alhamdulillah, this is the teaching of the Islam. This is the teaching of your home, not the Islam. Islam has nothing to do with what you are doing at all. The Islam commanded us to be kind, commanded us to not be harsh, commanded us not to prevent them from their right. I'm not defending the woman, but I'm addressing the situation for us as men, how to be responsible, how we are assigned to have the upper hand, and we need to maintain that upper hand during marriage and after marriage. We don't realize the consequences of what we do after marriage. We think that what we do, it would show in the community that we are strong and they cannot harm us. But you are harming yourself. You're harming your ex-wife. You're harming your kids. You are ruining their life, and they end up in the street, homeless, having nothing to support them, and then you are bragging that you are Muslim, and you spend your money all over the places, and you might go Umrah next Ramadan, and Alhamdulillah. This is injustice. This is great injustice that we do in the community. We are forbidden from committing any kind of injustice. Every one of us must be aware of what we are doing. And if you have the chance to advise, please, either you say something good or you stop. Don't pretend that you have knowledge. Don't advise based on your culture. We are not living back home anymore. We are here. We need to find a way to bring the souls together, to reconcile. And if that could not happen, and if that is hard and difficult, then we can negotiate the term of separation based on what? لا تنسوا الفضل بينكم. Do not forget this harmony that you used to have between each other, the kindness and generosity among you. It's okay, it's permissible in Islam to divorce. It's okay to leave the wife. It's permissible to divorce 1, 2, and the third. After the third, you are not allowed to return her back. And when you are doing such thing, Allah Azza wa Jalla say, وَإِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ لَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْكُمْ إِن طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ مَا لَمْ تَمَسُّوهُنَّ وَتَفْرِضُوا لَهُنَّ فَرِيضَةً. There is no sin on you when you divorce the woman. وَإِذَا طَلَّقْتُمُ النِّسَاءَ فَبَلَغْنَ أَجَلَهُنَّ فَأَمْسِكُوهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ أَوْ سَرِّحُوهُنَّ بِمَعْرُوفٍ وَلَا تُمْسِكُوهُنَّ ضِرَارًا لِتَعْتَدُوا وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ. When you divorce the woman, either you keep them with kindness or you free them to a reasonable term. وَلَا تَعْضُلُهُنَّ. Don't hold them, don't prevent them from their right, don't be harsh, don't do anything that might bring your life to an end. لِتَذْهَبُوا بِبَعْضِ مَا أَتَيْتُمُوهُنَّ. So you will prevent them from their right. وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ فَقَدْ ظَلَمَ نَفْسَهُ. Allah called this as injustice, to ruin the life of others. I'm talking to those who are called men. When it comes to the term of separation, they need to practice the method. They need to practice that concept. And do not go by your grudge. Do not go by your greed. Do not leave your kids in the street. Do not make them go knocking the door asking for help or asking for support. This is not the right at all. The Prophet ﷺ said, خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. The best among you who are good to their family, not to good to anyone else. If you are not good to your spouse, it doesn't matter if she's your spouse or ex-wife. If you are not good to your kids and kind to them, you're not going to be good to anyone else. That means you're faking yourself. Allah, the Prophet ﷺ has brought to him by the hadith, إِنَّ لِنَفْسِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا وَإِنَّ لِرَبِّكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا وَإِنَّ لِأَهْلِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا فَآتِ كُلَّ ذِي حَقٍّ حَقًّا. That Allah has right upon you to worship Him, to do everything that He commanded you to do, and to stay away from anything He forbid you to do. وَإِنَّ لِنَفْسِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا, that your soul has right upon you to entertain yourself, to maintain that body that Allah Azza wa Jal give you good shape, and to maintain it healthy by the will of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَإِنَّ لِأَهْلِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا, that your family has right upon you. So do not ignore those kind of rights upon everyone, because we're going to be the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah before Allah Azza wa Jal, and you will be questioned. As I said, I'm not defending the woman, but I'm addressing the situation with the full mind, with the one who has sound mind. So we might be back to Allah Azza wa Jal. Let us forget about the culture. Let us forget about what we used to do back home. Let's come back to the teaching of the Islam. Let's come back to the word of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And to make that as a rule for us when we address any kind of situation. This is not the right to do. This is not the right thing to do by ruining someone's life. I know many brothers, their life ruined. They ended up in the street, losing their property, losing their job, losing everything. But at the end, who's going to be blamed? They're not going to blame the wife. They're going to blame the man. They're going to say, oh, that's his fault. Yeah, which is right. Because Allah Azza wa Jal gives us the upper hand. Allah Azza wa Jal says, الرِّجَالُ قَوَّامُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ. We're commanded to do everything with kindness and to be generous with them. We are commanded to be tolerant. So if we dislike any trait or character, we might be pleased with anything else. We are commanded to live with them honorably. وَعَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. So all that command came to the men. So my dear brothers and sisters, please, when you are consulted or asked for an advice regarding to be involved in one's relationship, if you don't know anything, don't speak. Because by your word, they might end up in the court. Thousand. If that thousand spent on the family itself, they might be able to buy a house or like to have a decent life instead of spending that money in the courts. But what we do, the wife has her support and the man has his own support, and they keep pushing each other, and they think when they do such thing, they're gonna like make it peaceful. No. It's already wrong. The first decision that we take all the time by thinking going to the court, that will ruin our life. Never ever think going to court at all. It's easy. It's based on term before you signing the marriage contract. This is your due and this is my right. If we are separated, you can take your right, I can take my right, and that's the end. And then the men, they should prove themselves as men. They should prove themselves. When Allah Azza wa Jalla says that تَنْسَوُ الْفَضْلَ بَيْنَكُمْ, the beginning of the ayah, if someone intended to marry a wife, marry a woman, and he give her the dowry before, and he divorced her before touching her, then he has the right to retain half of the dowry. But out of generosity, if someone said, I can't, I don't want anything, I will keep all the dowry for her, that's what's called fire. Because al-adl, we are commanded to be adl. We are commanded to be just and fair with them. But what will show our noble character, that what will show our great manner, what we are, what's called desirable act, which is al-fadl here, to be more generous, to be more kind, to forget and to forfeit your right just to make it peaceful. Not forfeiting the right in this case is not going to make you coward. This is what we understand. Oh, if I do this, they're gonna call me coward. No one would care about you. Wallahi. No one would care calling you any name. Just think of your kids. If you don't care about your spouse, your ex-wife, just think of your kids. What they're gonna call you. Are they gonna call you a kind, generous, noble dad? Or they're gonna call you the one who ruined their life? قولوا ما سمعتم واستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. And the last message to the woman and to every father here who have his daughter got married and he's tired of the complaint of his daughter or his sister, to be patient. Because if a woman asks for a divorce for no reason, she will not smell the scent of the Jannah, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. No matter the amount of harshness they might go through, no matter the difficulty they might go through, all what you need as a father or as a brother to support them, even financially, by kind words. Do not rush to separate the life between them, because what happened after a couple of days, weeks, you will be tired of her and her kids. And then you're gonna tell her, oh, go to the court and ask for your right. And from there, it's not gonna come to an end. So all the time, this is a message to the father. Don't be emotional when it comes to the matter of divorce or like separation between whom related to you and the husband. All the time, try your patience. Try to be tolerant. Try to have direct conversation before they go anywhere else. Try to bring them, try to address the situation. If you do not have knowledge, you can bring anyone who has knowledge to reconciliate between them, to fix the problem. There is nothing wrong with that. We don't want to go and lose money and lose the kids and we end up living miserable life, taking the properties of others, thinking this is my share. The law said I have the right of the house. You don't have the right of the house for the woman. My daughter has the right of the house. She can take the house from the husband. He can find somewhere else. No, this is not the right. You agreed upon mahar. That's it. That's her right. She doesn't deserve anything other than her right from the mahar. Don't say, oh, by the law. By the Islam. We go by the Islam. We don't go by the law. If it's not her right, then this is not her right. Don't make it big deal. No, it's legal to drink, it's legal to smoke marijuana, it's legal to do all this kind of haram, but we don't do them because we know Islam creates haram. It's the same when it comes to the topic of divorce and like talaq. We don't do things that we know it's Islamically forbidden. We are not allowed to do it by taking others' right or like seizing others' money to pretend like it's by the law. There's an agreement at the beginning of the marriage that shows this is your right and this is her right. And that's that. So all the time try your patience. Try your tolerance. Don't rush to divorce. Take it easy. Don't think of your daughter or don't think of your son. Think of their kids. How they're gonna live their life. And everyone, please, especially those who are going to get married, before you do such thing, take a look to the book of Allah Azza wa Jal and the advice of His Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam about living together, about establishing a life. Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً. It's a sign from Allah Azza wa Jal. The marriage is a sign. Allah Azza wa Jal made it as a sign for us. And He made the woman a place of comfort. Forgot about having, I love you, you are my everything. Forgot about all those kind of words. Because the concept that mentioned in this ayah, al-mawaddah, and the rahmah, that the mercy, and the affection that mentioned is greater than the term I love you. It's greater than that. Because I love you, you can say it to anyone. You can mention anyone by that. But this kind of mawaddah and rahmah, will not be given to anyone except when you really care about someone who's living with you. You will sacrifice your life for them when they live with you. So my dear brothers and sisters, all the time, remember the word of Allah and His Messenger. All the time make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. If you have any difficulty in your life, do not rush to take any wrong decision. And if you ended up for taking this decision for divorce, do it wisely. Do not rush to do things that might ruin her life or your life. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to bring peace among us and to make our life peaceful. That's what we ask Allah Azza wa Jal. And to call for peace all the time, as Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ. And reconciliation is better than doing anything. عباد الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Before I conclude my khutbah, I would remind the brothers and the sisters in the community about the pledge for the last fundraising that we have. We haven't received much of those pledges. So please, if you pledge any amount, or if you intend to pledge any amount to support expanding this property and purchasing the next property, so please do not hesitate. We would like to grow, and we would like to make this place bigger, and so the place will be able to accommodate for many people. So please, we're asking everyone to be part of this. If you are not part of automatic deduction, please, you have the forms at the door, you can sign them up. $50, $100 till inshallah we'll be able to maintain this place and expand it and buy the next property inshallah. عباد الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وعافنا واعف عنا. اللهم تقبل منا. اللهم انصر إخواننا في فلسطين. اللهم نصرك الذي وعدت لعبادك المؤمنين. اللهم اربط على قلوبهم وثبت أقدامهم واستر عوراتهم وآمن روعاتهم. اللهم أفرغ عليهم صبرا. اللهم أفرغ عليهم صبرا. اللهم أفرغ عليهم صبرا وانصرهم على القوم الكافرين. اللهم يا منزل الكتاب سريع الحساب هازم الأحزاب اللهم اهزمهم وزلزلهم. اللهم اجلد وطأتك على الصهاينة ومن والاهم. اللهم أرنا فيهم عجائب قدرتك. اللهم خذهم أخذ عزيز مقتدر. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شرورهم ونجعلك في نحورهم. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة. Please, brother, if you can take a step to your right, those other do not block the door. We have plenty of spaces at the back, so please.